Good afternoon. Thank you for having that long walk over here, or hopefully you were somewhere over here because I had to sprint to find this place. Um, quick intro. Yeah, there's some kind of echo. Better? Better. Maybe I'll stand there. Nope, there's another speaker there. Maybe this is good? Okay, thank you. To those folks who've never seen me talk, present, or do any of that, I'm Jigisha Deb, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Microsoft. And my focus is obviously Dynamics 365 sales. Within that, it's 365 sales professional with the focus mainly on getting somebody started with their productivity tools right out of the bag. How many of you are Office 365 users? I'd hope every single hand over here, right? How many use Dynamics 365 sales? Awesome. Are you all using Enterprise SKU? Do you know what you're using today? Probably Enterprise, okay. Which is also great. This one was more focused around, so what we have, and before I even get into slides, is at Microsoft, we always want to make sure we have a solution for every organization depending on where they are on their journey. So obviously we have, this was our latest entry into the sales side with being introduced last year, GA, for making sure that the organizations that don't necessarily have, they're using maybe spreadsheets, they're using OCM, they're using homegrown solutions for their CRM solutions, and they want to be able to get started and get introduced very quickly with Dynamics. This is a great starting point because you can literally, and I will show you, literally get started with a CRM solution in minutes and hours, not weeks, not months, don't need a lot of customization, and obviously it depends on where you are. I've always talked about how we can do this. I want to kind of walk through, some of you are already using Dynamics, so great. I'm super happy to see that. For you, it'll be a little bit of a refresher for those folks who are interested over here to kind of learn about how they could do this transformation from their homegrown solutions or other solutions moving into Dynamics. This is our starting point, and you will always have that opportunity to upgrade into enterprise SKUs and sales insights. There are other sessions on that as well. So for those that have to listen through a little bit of my sales pitch, apologies in advance, but we'll get to the interesting part. What I'll do is I'll spend a little bit more time on what's new as well. Perfect. This one's kind of an introduction where we kind of actually did a research on why people even want to do more of this automation or sales process automation. And the research we found is 59% of the people actually feel like the sellers feel they're spending too much time and have way too many tools. So they're pretty much duplicating, replicating their efforts, and it's taking them away from what should be the most important part, which is selling. And a lot of them actually said, I don't know what I'm expected to do. Am I supposed to go and do renewals? Am I supposed to go and do net new in sales? How do I spend my time most effectively? Because I don't know the KPIs, I don't know the goals and forecasting. And 64% of them admitted that they're actually doing things that are non-sales time work, which to me is shocking. If I am getting money for how much I'm selling and closing deals, if I'm only spending 36% of my time on that, I'm not getting the money worth my time, obviously. And that's because either there are too many tools again, or it's because the processes are unclear, or it's just that there are too many people they have to work with. And this is kind of where they said that actually made them reduce their seller quota by 14%. To me, that's huge. It's a lot of time spent from making money. But that's just from the seller and the internal challenges that they have within an organization. What's also happened in the past few years is the actual number of people that actually they have to deal with when closing a deal has doubled. So it used to be 5 just about 8 years ago. Now it's up to 10 people before you can close a deal. And internally, they've also been working with way more people to close. So it's not just externally reaching out to 10 people. Now, if I'm a buyer, and you heard probably everywhere, every buyer wants to be having a personal touch. They want to be told that don't give me the obvious canned response. Come talk to me, tell me that you know what I'm doing, how I'm doing, where have you been in this journey of seller process. and now I have to remember not about one, but 10 people within that organization before I can close the deal. I can't keep it in my head. I need tools. I need ways of doing this better. And so that's exactly what they're feeling and facing, is not only do I have to deal with more people, it's the whole big discussion that happens every time, because now there's so many more involved. It takes longer to close a deal. And again, it's taking away from the time that they have to do, plus unclear processes. And the theme that we got is tools, data silos, and too many people and unclear processes are taking away from their selling point. And that's kind of where we feel like Office and Dynamics come together. In the past, when I talked about sales professional, I talked about it more in silo, and I'm like, no, really, where do sellers spend most of their time? It is truly in their Office tools. So how do we make sure that they're doing their job without having to bounce between tools, with having access wherever they go? How do we make that happen? Essentially, what we realize is with these two, they're actually able to free up their selling time. They're able to get up and running fast. They're also able to customize their sales processes without customizations, only with configurations and simple ways. And essentially, that's where we feel like we are enabling these sellers with focusing on what's most important, streamlining their seller workflows, and starting with what you need. And I will spend a little bit of time on each of these. You'll understand why I say, because you may be today using Enterprise, awesome, we can get a whole pitch on that one too, but essentially it works for all of our solutions, is how do we help our sellers focus on what's most important? All right. I talked about personalization, having that relevant conversations, having that relevant feedback or content that you're sharing with the sellers. With Outlook, what you're seeing on this, and I'm gonna click and hope it does what I want it to. Nope, it did not. Sorry. There we go. What you're seeing on the screen right now, individual or sellers actually in Outlook, they're getting an email, they're able to see, for some reason it's not doing very well, but essentially they're in Outlook, they're getting an email from a buyer saying, hey, I wanna have this conversation. They're in Outlook. On the right panel is your Dynamics 365. Right there, you're able to find all the information about the buyer, about where they are. Did I say, hey, I'm going to send you this brochure, or I'm going to actually do something? And they say, can you increase my purchase from 8, I'm making it up, 8 chairs or sofas to 12, because I was such a rock star seller, obviously. I can do all of that right from Outlook, check what the status was, where it is, click on it without ever leaving my Outlook. The same thing goes with guided tours. I want to know exactly where I am within the process and what I need to do. This is being finicky, sorry. I'm testing this out a little bit by using there. I'm able to see what you're seeing over here is Teams. I am not leaving Teams. I'm right in there, and I'm getting all my data of how I'm doing as a seller, or as my organization is doing as a sales manager, getting that dashboard view right from within that, and it's moved out. As well as my processes. Great. Of where I am in my sales process. Now, everybody over here knows in Seller Way, we talk about, we have our own ways of closing out deals. It's whether you're qualifying, you're in the sales motion, you're in the quote motion, whatever you're doing, you can set these stages of how you want to close your deals. The seller now, this goes back to they're saying, I don't know what's priority. I don't know what the processes are. So with this, what you're getting, and you can look at it as, these are the processes that the seller has to close before they can move to the next one, whether it's the summary view, it's the qualify move, it's the close mode. All of those modes, you can go and do your check boxes, but all of this can be done without leaving Teams. And we have other sessions on it where we can show the integration. I also have other resources if you want to learn how to do it. Pretty straightforward. There are direct links and connectors in there. But essentially, this is where you're seeing we've never left Outlook, we've never left Office, and still the sellers are able to not only see where they are, close their deal, do check marks on their processes, and move on to the next one. And also see all the reporting view. Let me move on. Come on. It's not. The other thing I talked about is streamlining the seller workflows. Collaborating on deals obviously is very, very important. You can collaborate. Again, this is, as you can see, from within there, you can do by teams. You can take your data. This is really being finicky and annoying me, but let's try this. You're able to start, add a teams with that contact or at the organization level. Now your seller can actually have all the conversations they're having, from chat to all of that, right from within Teams. All this data, their chat, their documents that they're sharing, all the links that they're sharing, get tracked right back into their CRM system, which is our Dynamics 365 Sales. Looking at it as going back to the productivity, but also making sure when the seller leaves, it's not sitting in their account, in their chats, in their emails. It is all tracked back, and your organization can see what kind of touch points were done with that customer. Similarly, you can be a seller and have a quote started. Now you're having a discussion internally with your finance. You're also having a discussion with your partners. You want to keep all of that tracked. That document is yours in your Teams mode. You're having the control of that version, but at the same time, you're able to collaborate and work across all of that. Again, I have never shown you Dynamics. I've only shown you all of these things, but a seller cares about it, a sales organization cares about it, that you can still keep track of it, you can still control, collaborate, and share from within that. And the third one, not the over here, is working on the go. Not something my machine is doing today. There we go. Sorry. It is acting finicky. I'll have to figure it out. But if you see it, it's the same dashboard, the same view that you're getting on your tablet or your PC. You can get all that view exactly on your phone as well. So a seller is not usually at their desk. They're sitting at their customer site, and they want to quickly check what's the status or the last conversation or the review or any of that. I'm on the go. I'm actually being supported. All of this is being done through Dynamics, and you can do not just collaboration, not just sharing of the documents, but also being able to do all the activity and reporting and views right out of Teams. So far, I think I made a point over here by showing that none of this, have you ever seen the UI or this of sales or the Dynamics 365 Sales? Because I want to make home that point that sellers don't always live in a CRM system. They work where they work, and we want to continue enabling and increasing that productivity. And the third pillar that I kind of talked about, and I don't trust this machine anymore, is we can get started. And a few of you raised hands saying you're already using it. With Dynamics 365 for Sales Enterprise, obviously you've been working with maybe partners, you've got the whole setup established, things like that done and spent. But there are some companies that I've spoken to who are not necessarily small companies, they're large companies, but they've been doing a lot of homegrown, and they want to move towards this. It's actually a 4-step simple process of moving today from from their homegrown or spreadsheet or whatever version they're using or competitor solutions, by updating their data, uploading it through any CSV file version, adding users, adding their SharePoint site, and out of the box, they're going to get a lot of these experiences that you're seeing on the screen. And then obviously when they're ready to do more of the updates or configurations, let's see if this works. I was showing the 4 steps over here. Configuration is just drag and drop. You can change that processes up on the top that you saw for the sellers as a guidance. Any organizations can go in, and you'll see those changes reflected right back in, whether you're working in Dynamics or in Teams. And then what I talked about is, you might be an organization that are already using, and you want to update at any given point. You're like, great, I want to start simple. I want to get out of the way, get started with Sales Professional, but at some point, I want to get more. I want to do more Relationship Assistant. I want to do more with AI. I want to do with the Sales Insights that we've been releasing in the past few months or years now. Constant innovation that we're doing with AI. At that point, that same configuration that you have today in Dynamics 365 Sales Professional, with the phone call, you can get upgraded to Enterprise. You will not have to redo or readjust any of the work that's been done. It becomes a transparent move, and then you can add and do more customizations as your organization needs increase. And that's why I kind of talked about is counting on a platform that grows with your business. Because we truly make sure that the customers go through this journey and we're there with them without them having to re-platform, recode, reconfigure. Okay? For those who've kind of been in that journey, I also wanted to spend maybe a couple of minutes on here, especially for those that have been new to the sales. I mean, they've been using Dynamics 365. I kind of showed the comparison over here on enterprise versus professional. Anything that actually is supporting the Dynamics customers with their sales automation, sales process automation, will always be released in professional as well as enterprise. In enterprise, however, we focus also on making sure the customer is mature enough. They need a little bit more. They need more AI, like I spoke, or they need more from their LinkedIn investments and things like that. You will see some of these updates go to them, not necessarily as much where the sales professional customers may not be ready for it. So I'll just walk you through a few of these updates, and I'll make sure that I don't take up somebody else's time. The one thing we released recently is soft phone dialer. A lot of our customers said we want to be able to have our salespeople do the dialing right from within their Dynamics environment. Today we now actually have that integration with that soft phone dialer, so you can add a third-party dialer right from Dynamics environment. The sellers can start calling in from there. The other thing we did is we've constantly been making the Teams integration enhancements, some of which you saw earlier, really to make sure that the sellers are getting all of this view from the environment they're working. Opportunity close dialogue. Some organizations said, hey, I don't want just a standard, the deal is closed, done. We want to add more customizations, like I want to be able to do conversations around when it was closed, won, lost, how did it go, or what was the competitor that we lost against or whom we won against, things like that. So we now have that capability of having that customizations around opportunity close dialog box. Also, opportunity product quick create is if you already have a contact going on there, you can quickly add that opportunity and convert it from a contact into an opportunity if the discussions have happened without having to re-enter all the information. Same thing with lead management. There's a lot more advancements we've done. Definitely LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Power BI integration have been another area where we've spent more energy. I should have added another slide for you because we have a deep dive tomorrow on sales session as well on some of this where we'll cover it in more details. Business card scanner was another one where we've kind of, I don't know how many of you have heard of AI Builder or something. We're using a lot of our AI investments from that where you can add any of the business card details. Just take a picture of that business card, automatically gets entered into your Dynamics as a net new contact lead, however you want to position it. And obviously stays with you in the records. One focus where you're seeing the difference where an enterprise doesn't have and professional has, we've really made the whole focus of Dynamics 365 Sales Professional is help our customers get started quickly and have that experience so easy that they don't have to go through the challenges of starting up. And like I said, when they're ready, they can always move to enterprise, but this is an easy way to get started. So even when somebody signs new, and their environment's getting ready, now there's a whole process and journey that says when you will start here, this is how you can add contacts, here's how you can add. So it's very self-service, and it helps our customers who may, they may have partners, they may not have partners, so they don't want to call the partner and say, hey, how do I do this? And so this is really self-service, help easy mini tutorials, videos, and we will keep investing in that area. Forecasting, LinkedIn, things like that, which I talked about are hierarchical, don't necessarily meet the needs of the businesses that are just getting out of the box. So you'll see that difference over here. Just as a quick one, I actually have a full view of how the SKUs are compared with professional, enterprise, and Microsoft relationship sales. I've always gotten asked about, can you share what are the differences within professional? And as you'll look, it's the journey where you keep moving up as you need more. We absolutely keep investing to make sure that the journey is complete. But this is what we say, and more. In terms of pricing, I also wanted to, I've not put that in here, but I kind of wanted to walk out as, again, we want to make sure that some customers are just trying out, or they're not ready yet, or they have limited budgets today. So Dynamics 365 out of the box comes at $65, versus our enterprise SKU, you can start at $95. Now you can also, and there's a range with LinkedIn Navigator. Along with that, if you also want Sales Insights, that's an add-on only for the enterprise customers. I will answer more questions, but I'm looking at the time and being really nervous. But that was all our saying to you, right? That we say this. If you look at it, this is the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and where they feel our strength, honestly, is with our integration with Office. There are a lot of vendors out there or competitors who try to do the connectors. They can, they'll try, obviously, and there are some great successes out there, but the integration is deep, and for us, we always stay in line with wherever Teams is integrating or building some new capabilities. How do we make sure that we can take all of this and transfer it into our Office environment, into our Dynamics usage as well? And we have some really large customers. If somebody had followed, I think James Phillips had done this whole review recently where he showed Northrop and Johnson. But that's a boat company where they took a lot of their customizations and marketing needs and used Dynamics to basically increase their sales by 70%. And it was, the video is pretty cool, by the way, if you want to see how they wanted to do the customizations with AI in it as well. We have other, this is another small organization, to be honest, based in Netherlands. And if you look at how they've done their solution is, they really were an organization that focused only on logistics and whatnot and transportation. And their focus was, they had paper-based solution today. It was notes, it was notepad, it was spreadsheets. They moved to Dynamics and started right away using it because they found it not just intuitive, but also easy because of that Office integration story. I have a lot of material, but I know I'm running out of time and probably taking up someone's, but I want to make sure that there are a lot of customers that have been truly achieving ROI within just 7.2 months. And like I said, it doesn't take very long. I did want to leave you guys with saying, if you want to learn more about it, we've been constantly building stories, scenarios, etc., to show how the productivity works. But not only that, we also have documentations for those customers that have been using and saying, hey, I have Dynamics, but I haven't been using Office today, or I haven't done the Teams integration. How do I go about doing it? We actually have very good materials being used, both for separate documentations around Dynamics 365 Sales Professional and Enterprise, so you can actually use that and the videos. Please don't forget to evaluate this session or join me for my other sessions over here on the conference here. Right? If anybody has questions, I am happy to stay here and answer them, but I want to make sure if there's any takeaway, truly what we are working on is making sure that the sellers focus on selling, not on figuring out their processes and steps. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.